Passion report, sorry.
Anyway, thank you guys for being here. As you heard at the end of session, Representative, you can't hear me because it's loud, I'm sorry. Representative Niska, Leader Niska had clearly wanted to be recognized by the Secretary of State today. That is something that we have both emailed previously to just be recognized as elected officials here in the House of Representatives. It is very out of line that a ceremonial presider over this chamber from the executive branch would shut down the voices. We just needed to be recognized once more today. As you can tell, the mics were shut off, but that is what it is. Supreme Court hearing the oral arguments for the case that we have filed against the Secretary of State because of not recognizing duly elected members of the House of Representatives. That is going to be on Thursday. It has been calendared here in the judicial chambers, right here in the Capitol, and we look forward to the Supreme Court making a determination whether or not a member of the executive branch can shut down the voice of a duly elected member or body of the House of Representatives. The other thing I will give you a little bit of an update on, as you know, conversations with our Democrat colleagues regarding the start of this session or the late start. We're on day 22. We are on day 22. Over $200,000 of taxpayer dollars going to members that have not bothered to show up for work even one day. You know that those conversations with our Democrat colleagues were happening today. They are not done. But what I can tell you is I am very encouraged by my Democrat colleagues that it seems that there is some type of increased motivation to actually come to a determination. I don't have anything else to be able to share with you right now, but there does seem that there's a little bit of an increase in motivation. Again, until that point, we invite even one Democrat across the state of Minnesota to show up for work and do what they were elected to do. That's really all we have for you at this point.
If you come to an agreement late tonight, tomorrow, would that make the Supreme Court case on Thursday not relevant to you anymore?
I really don't have anything to actually comment on that at this point. Right now, we know that we are not there. Clearly, we were shut down once more to even be recognized. It's very interesting, though, that the Secretary of State does recognize us of when we would like to reconvene, if it's by email, but not on the House floor or in communications. I don't have any information, though, as far as what will happen on Thursday.
Did you do an oral request today because of the language in the Secretary's reply brief that you hadn't made an oral request to be recognized?
Sure. So there's a lot of, I think, misinformation in the Secretary of State's filings about what the communication has been with him, his knowledge about whether we want it to be recognized. And so it was important that we make it that much clearer to him that we were, in fact, seeking to be recognized. It's hard to believe, given the level of communication, both by email and in private meetings, et cetera, that he would represent to the court that he didn't know certain things about motions, but I think, you know, the truth was laid bare for all to see today about what he knows and what he doesn't know and what he's doing in terms of his going beyond the constitutional bounds of his role.
Motions were on the desk in a way that he could be.
A motion was on his desk, a version of that motion. There were two different versions, but they have been at the desk every single day the last week and this week.
When was the last time you had a meeting with the Secretary?
We have not had any meetings with the Secretary since last week.
A similar question to Caroline's. If you guys come to an agreement, would the recall elections then become irrelevant?
You know, the state party was handling the recalls. I know they had a press conference earlier today. At this point, there are 66 members of a caucus that have not been here to work for the people that voted them into office. They have not chosen to show up. The recalls would be a different situation.
Yeah, that's kind of a process that ends up kind of taking on a life of its own once 25 members of any, constituents in any district file a petition, then it goes through the process, and it's not really, we don't really have the ability to prevent that from going forward at that point.
Did you get any sense of why Democrats seem more motivated, as you said, to get to a deal? Or?
I don't really have a sense. That would be a great question if you ask them. I don't have true understanding of why, but it is encouraging. You know, maybe the public pressure that we have been hearing from all over is actually letting them know that Minnesotans are quite frustrated with the lack of showing up for work.
Sorry about that. How do you gauge that motivation? Just that they've been showing up more, or is like?
They've been showing up more and interested.
Okay.
You guys, you have another, you kind of referenced it, you have another meeting this evening?
We do.
Okay. And then are any scheduled for tomorrow at this point or no?
Not at this time.
Just to clarify, the motivations that you mentioned, is that when it comes to some of the things they've said that they wanted, are they willing to sort of concede some of that, or is it just a motivation to come back to work? As
I think the fact that they are actually willing to have conversations about what it would actually take without any details that I can share at this point, but the fact that they're willing to come back and have continued conversations is encouraging. But as you know, House Republicans have been here every day doing the work. It's not that we haven't been available to have additional conversations, but we are.
What effect do you think the expanded teams of negotiators have had?
You know, expanded teams have happened this week. It just started yesterday. 2 days of expanded teams. If that's what it took for Democrats to be motivated to have conversations about coming back to work, then it is successful.
In the Secretary's response for the Supreme Court filing, he stated that you were told by nonpartisan staff that it was practice to not be recognized, that a motion could not be recognized. Is that true? Did nonpartisan staff tell you guys that?
So nonpartisan staff pointed us to the provision in Masons that says that you wouldn't have motions to compel unless the Constitution provides otherwise, and the Constitution of Minnesota does provide otherwise.
Anything new on your feeling about seating Representative Brad Tabke? Has that changed at all, or same answer on that?
Again, as we had talked before, that it is up to the House to judge the eligibility of its membership, and that is still what we stand by. So not yes, but not no. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.